Okay guys, so here is the next part of creating my glass and resin pineapple. So here I am taking some broken reflective gold glass and adding it to the base of my pineapple. First I lined the exterior of the base, and now I'm just filling in with that. You want to make sure to not put overly large pieces of the reflective glass in here, and try to keep your sizes somewhat consistent without being overly meticulous about it, because this does take some time to complete. You'll see me being very picky about the pieces I put down, not spending a lot of time on the very smaller pieces, as I'll use those later in the process, and you'll see that at the very end. And as I'm finishing up on the base of this pineapple, you'll see that it adds a really dimension and a lot of sparkle to it. And there's what it looks like at the end of that. So here I'm going to be adding cut glass pieces, various shapes, sizes, and colors for the leaves. Now this is a little bit more complicated because this glass has dimension. There's curves, and in some of the cases the glass has dimensionality to it, which provides more texture and interest in the art. You want to make sure that if you use cut glass, that you're making sure that you use protective equipment in the process of doing that. As we lay down our glass, we also want to make sure that because the cut glass is going to be on edge, and there's the gloves that I use, and please make sure also that if you are wanting to cut glass, that you're using protective eyewear. And here I'm showing the different types of glass I'm using. Some of it's very thick, some is opaque and gold to bring continuity to the colors of the pineapple. So you'll see greens and golds and aquas. Here is more of my broken glass, and under the curved glass areas, I need to be able to support those pieces of glass, and so you will see me adding some of that glass in order to support that glass, and in some cases keep the glass up on its edge. Now you need to make sure that when you're handling this glass and after you've cut it, that you use a honing stone. If you don't have one of those, you can use some concrete or a brick, and just round out the edges of the glass so that you don't cut yourself. So here you'll see me laying out a few of the pieces of broken glass and then adding a piece of the cut glass. And this can be quite a process. I didn't take you through every single piece of doing this because it is a long process, but I just wanted to show you basically how it's done. I find my broken glass from various thrift stores. If something gets broken around my house, I generally will save it and use it somehow. And so I'm going back and forth between the cut. And so I'm going back and forth between the cut glass and broken glass. And I'm pulling off the glass and adding the glass back just so that I can make it stand and support the glass from underneath with the broken glass. And if you decide to create this piece, you'll understand what I'm referring to. But as I build the glass layers onto this piece, the last thing I want to happen is for the glasses that are up on their edges to shift and move. So I'm adding a clear glue. You always want to use a clear glue when you're dealing with the glass to kind of help secure things, and also adding the broken glass in the different colors to help stabilize those cut glass leaves. And so with my cut glass, I cut the pieces according to how I wanted it to look when I was creating at the very beginning, and cutting the glass earlier in the week, and taking that glass off and adding the broken glass underneath of it can sometimes shift and change things, and you may or may not use all of the glass that you cut, but that's okay. The big thing is remembering that this is a three-dimensional piece, and having the glass under the cut glass kind of helps to give that extra dimension. It also helps give extra glitter from under it, and also helps to support and keep it in place. Here there's some leaves that are going to overlap the gold base of the pineapple, and so I am making sure that there's glass within those areas to support those leaves, and I'll take those on and off until I'm happy with it. I was very lucky to find a gold dish that had striations of greens and aquas and such in it. It was opaque glass that I was able to add and bring that continuity from the base of the pineapple to the leaves of the pineapple. So that was a lot of fun. Now, if you're working on a piece, you can certainly color your own glass. Just take any clear glass and get some glass tint and create the color that you need. But these were all pieces that were purchased or that I had on hand that I was able to use. And so here, as you add more and more glass, things are going to get tighter and harder to get your fingers into without shifting and moving the pieces that you've already established on your piece. And so having a slim tool to reach down and help be an extra extension of you will be a great thing to have on hand. So I will continue to build all of the glass and the cut glass and the broken glass into my leaves. And here's my final product, which is ready for resin.